I am Deborah Donovan, Chair of the Data Governance Committee, present in Brandon, Mississippi. This meeting of the Data Governance Committee is being held today, Friday, January 13th, 2023 at 9 a.m. pursuant to Mississippi Code annotated section 25415 with some committee members present via teleconference. The notice of this meeting, including the date, time, place, and purpose, has been posted. An audio recording is being made of this meeting and minutes of this meeting will be recorded. Due to the virtual platform, we ask that all voting data owners please turn your camera on. As I call the names of the voting committee members, please state the location of your presence, just city and state for this meeting. Alan Burrow. Joanne Malone.
Present, Flora, Mississippi.
Wendy Clemens.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Amarita Tell. Jill Dent. Tanette Smith.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Judy Nelson.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Lois King, proxy for Scott Clements.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Kristen Lynn. Lee Johnson.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Donna Hales. Brian McGarity.
Good morning, President Jackson, Mississippi.
Letitia Johnson.
Good morning, President Madison, Mississippi.
Sandra Robertson.
Good morning, Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Let's see.
Deborah, I think your audio froze. You may want to repeat that.
Good
Oh.
morning, Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Let's see. Tammy Crissetti is out. Lee Johnson is here as her proxy. Jennifer Boykin. Jackie Samsel.
Present, Philadelphia, Mississippi.
Corey Murphy. Elizabeth Simmons.
Present, Brandon, Mississippi.
And Sarita Donaldson. Okay. All right, we squeaked by on that one. We do have a quorum of the committee is present at the location stated for conducting a meeting through teleconference means. Next up is approval of the November 30th, 2022 minutes. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved, Lee Johnson.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Joanne. Any discussion? All those in favor? Right. Need hands or voices?
Aye.
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 Thank y'all. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, next I need an approval of the agenda for today's meeting. Do you have a motion?
I make the
Wendy.
motion for the agenda. That's Joanne.
All right, I'll take
And
Joanne as the
Wendy.
motion.
And Wendy will second.
Thank you, Wendy. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye. No, not opposed.
Gotcha. Thanks. I didn't wait long enough. Sorry. All right, motion carries. All right, we have a pretty short agenda today, so we're gonna see if we get through this. First up is an update from the data sharing agreement work group, and Tina is going to give us that update today since Donna is out.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. The backup material should include a data sharing agreement work group update. You can look on there, but I'll just walk through it real quick. There were just a few that occurred since our last meeting. The first one was with Cambridge Assessment International Education, and that was just to extend the years of that contract. The next one was with Executive Information Systems, SAS Institute, MSU, and RCU. We revised some data points on that agreement. Then the next two, the charter school, and then the next one being with MSU on behalf of SSRC. Those two were just an extension of the years of the contract as well. We have a new DSA with InSpark and Accelerate. They're doing a study for us, so we executed that. And then the last one is with the United States Department of Education, specific to the Migrant Student Information Exchange, and we executed a new one for this year. So does anyone have any questions or concerns about any of those?
Tina, I just wanted to clarify that when you spoke about Cambridge, and I think one other, those are not contracts, but rather agreements. Just wanted for clarification. All right. Next up is an update on the course code work group from Tammy Crissetti.
Well, of course, Tammy's not here, so I'll do
That's
the
right.
update
Sorry.
for her. We've been working very diligently. Everyone on the committee has done an outstanding job of helping Tammy. Tammy, of course, has done the brunt of the work. She has met with every group, like every subject area and such, that are involved with the course code manual to ensure that any codes that they're involved with or any parts of the manual that they're involved with has been updated correctly. And big shout out to Sarita Donaldson. She has just been so helpful in taking our questions whenever we had any. At this point, we have been through the entire manual and looked at every single course code at least once to ensure if we were keeping it or sunsetting it, what we were doing with it. We hope to have all of that done in the next few weeks, and we will be able to then decide if we're keeping the two different manuals. You know, we have a short report and a long report. Whether we're going to keep both reports or not, that's still up for discussion. Part of what we're trying to do here is decide if we have to actually print out every single course code, or if we can put them just a link to MSIS, trying to encourage people to actually go to MSIS to pull the list of courses so that they always have the most current list of courses. So that's sort of the big decisions going on right now. Any questions? And that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Lee. Next up, we have an informational item from Tina on the Data Governance 2023 roadmap. I'll also do some updates on MSIS change requests. Tina, you want to get us started?
Okay. Again, this is in your backup material. The committee has what we're calling a roadmap, and it's our calendar year, January through December, showing some key dates that are important to each of you, and just doing a quick highlight on some of those. We know that the legislation session has started. It began January 3rd, and the plan is for them to sine die to end the session on April 2nd. And for us, that means that triggers that timeline of when our change requests are due. And then that would put that at May 12th, if I calculated that correctly. So that is captured on that roadmap so that you're aware of that. And I just wanted to highlight that as well. And then those will go through that process of being updated. We are currently working on improving the data quality template. That's on our calendar for this year. We want to make it more efficient and for y'all that are filling it out. And so we are going through that process right now, and that's highlighted on that roadmap. And those won't be due until towards the end of the year, but we want to begin now working on that so that you have time to improve the information that's on those plans. Then we have our annual review of the data dictionary, which we published successfully last year at the end of the year, and we'll have to do that again at the end of this year. So that is captured on this roadmap as well. And the course code work group that Lee spoke about, we've highlighted some key dates there for them. They're pushing out that new manual that Lee just spoke about, and they're going to do some communicating and assistance with the districts on the new process that they have to go through and for the request of course codes. And all of that will be due on like October 1st. Those major changes would have to go through that process. And then, of course, our data sharing agreement work group, they are continued to meet pretty regularly. It's bi-weekly, and everyone has done really well in going through that process. I haven't seen any hiccups there. So I did want to just highlight that. And the emphasis changes, is that the one that you wanted to speak to, Deborah, or would you like me to walk through that?
You can go ahead and walk through it. I'll address MSIS 2.0.
Okay. So there's another document in our backup material that focuses on the changes for MSIS and the MSIS request. I just told you that the legislature sine dies and it triggers our little timeline of change requests. But as you know, we do have MSIS 2.0 coming on. So for changes this year, we will not be accepting changes unless they're functional or procedural that have to be done to MSIS. They have to be tied to something very significant that need to be done immediately. And the reason is like I've been using my little analogy, is we've been cleaning house. So we're cleaning up the system, but right now is the time that we're actually taking the boxes and we're moving them into the new house. So this is not the time to go out and buy new furniture. So we need to kind of do a little pause, if you will, as we transition over into our new system. So that means no new changes unless we really, really are tied to something that we have to do and impacts like a current situation. But I'll let Deborah add to that.
Right. So as you know, the plan is for MSIS 2.0 to go live and be the official reporting system for the school year 24-25. And that is the school year that we'll be gathering change requests for later this spring. So we really want to limit that to anything that's not legislatively mandated or mandated by state policy that's changing, because we want that first year of the new MSIS system implementation, for districts to be well prepared for that and not throwing last minute changes at them. Now, of course, that doesn't preclude, you guys, having input on what's in MSIS 2.0. So if there's something, that the current MSIS does not do now, as we talk through with your program offices in designing, the new screens and dashboards and reports for MSIS 2.0, you'll have that opportunity. We're really just looking to minimize changes that we would have to be putting into place at the same time that we're rolling out the new system, to help us be able to train districts well, in that year before the new system goes live, and again, to minimize disruptions. So if there's any changes, coming up, that of, I want to get those identified and, submit those forms as soon as possible. And otherwise, we would ask that anything else could be submitted, but be delayed until after the first year of MSIS 2.0 that are, so it can go into, I'm sure we'll have quite a backlog of, once people start using the system, identifying other features that they would like to include in the system. So that is the plan. Any questions, comments on that? All right. Well, that wraps up our agenda for today. I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Ryan McGarity, so moved.
Second, Joanne Malone.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those
No.
in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all for joining us.